Davo, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good, mate. Good. Well, obviously, as you know, today is a bit of a journey on where you were at the start when you worked with me to where you are now, where let's just say you're fully equipped, smashing it in business and in personal life, and going on a couple of cheeky holidays on the way. So, um, first of all, mate, do you want to just share a little bit about what you do, who you are, and then we'll get into kind of, the journey of Davo.
Yeah. So my name's Dave Moss. I'm a plumber by trade. I've got a building company, providing property refurbishments to investors and landlords in northeast, not northwest, and specialising in HMOs. So we currently, help landlords purchase properties and then provide an end-to-end service, from purchase, from sourcing to refurbishment to handing over to either a professional or a social housing provider.
Amazing, man. Well, that's just a
Um,
touch of it. I feel like that's just a part of it, to be
yeah,
honest.
it's tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg because what's come from that now is we're getting more opportunities to source more properties. And I'm going to London next week. Obviously, you don't know this, but I'm going to London next week on Thursday and Friday to meet some guys that are part of an investment fund that
amazing.
are looking to buy properties through us in Northeast.
Yeah,
So
wow.
yeah,
Amazing, mate. That's amazing. Just so even we
crazy.
go to the start, like that alone, if I asked you, let's say, if I asked you 5, 6 months ago that you would be doing this, what would you say?
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't even think I would be anywhere near where we are now.
Yeah,
I never even think I'd be down this path.
yeah,
It just shows you how sometimes doors can open, but like you've got to walk through them and walk the walk, and as you say, talk the talk as well. And
mm,
I just think it's just one of them things that opportunities do arise, and you've just got to take them, and it's a roller coaster, but that's what it's all about. It's about it's what you just sometimes I feel like it is like a roller coaster, and it's like white knuckle. You just got to hold on,
yeah,
and it's not all good. It's not all easy, and there's a lot of lessons that can be learned along the way. I think about how you are, how you work, who you work with, and and the type of projects and people you want to be involved with. So yeah, we've come a long way in 6 months, but it just seems from the start of where I were, it it just seems another world. It
yeah.
there's no. It seems that seems like a different version of me back
Mm,
then. It's like I'm now a better, more organized, more disciplined
yeah.
version of myself.
100%, man, and that's all credit to you for investing in yourself, backing yourself, and sticking to the process. But kind of want to ask you now, Dave, is like, before we started, then where were you in life? Where were you in personal life, in work, and what got you to start the journey of getting into self development and learning more about yourself and what you can actually achieve.
I think. Well, I just burnt out, lost interest in my job and what I was doing, and I think certain things happen in your life, and we'd had sort of life changing scenario happen with us as a family, and that had a massive. I think it had a bigger impact on me now,
Yeah,
looking back, than I thought. And I thought I was dealing with it, and I probably weren't. So I think people pleasing, easy life. I think I'm just sort of treading water,
mm,
not really having any kind of financial responsibility as well. I think I was just going through motions and lack of lack of vision and direction.
yeah,
And I think that's where I were. Well, it is where I were.
yeah.
It is where I were, and it just seems a different. That seems like just a different chapter. The best way of describing it.
It really does, doesn't it? Like even now, you're just talking about a few of those things. It's kind of hard to believe now for me where you are right now, and the conversations we've had throughout this journey, and the goals you've set, short term and long term. And we speak about your mission statement, your personal statement. Um, the thing I like about you, Moss, Dave, is the fact that we're very similar minded. We wear our hearts on our sleeves a lot of the time, and
Yep.
when you do things like that, you love a lot, but you feel people's pain a lot as well, and you can get in that emotional catch of that area. And when you do that in business and in relationships and in goals, um, I find it harder at times, and possibly you do, because you feel the weight of everything as well, not
Yeah.
the good and the bad. But I find
Yeah.
once you got clarity, once we started to get that, you talk about, Dave, is that warrior mentality that you always wanted. Once you got that in there, I felt that power back in
Yeah.
yourself. I felt like the cogs started turning pretty quickly. That everything started to align.
Yeah.
At that stage, you were basically working on HMOs, but as a plumber and doing the tiling system, but always deep desire to run a team, have boys underneath you, and I think it took
Yeah.
6 weeks maybe until you got that property job, where you started to run your own team, overlooking, and
Yeah.
then that, I think that's where the penny dropped for you, where you realized you could have achieved these things and kind of got out of your own way. Is that right?
Yeah. And I think you also mentioned to me about um, me having that responsibility and thinking we are where we are now, but where do we need to be?
Yeah.
And I remember a specific conversation I had with about the guy I was working for, and I think selfishly, and I'd be the same. He saw value in what I was doing for him,
Mm,
but I could never progress. And you understood the value in what I had
yeah.
and where I needed to be, and to be able to. I won't say step away. I'd say it's more of a sideways step, because
Mm,
I still speak to him nearly every week.
yeah.
I still help him out a little bit with labour when we can, and I've sort of still got maintained that relationship.
100%.
And it there were about a month ago where I think he saw how much we'd grown as a business, and then he saw what we were doing, and he sort of like sat up and he sort of messaged me one night saying, jokingly, he says, "Oh, we see me and Nick now see you as a competitor." Like, laughing, like in good, all in good sort of spirit.
Yeah.
And I just thought, mate, there's no competition within friends, because I want him to do well, and he genuinely, because I speak to him a lot,
Yeah.
he genuinely wants me to do well. And I think when you've got that,
That's
you've
what you
got people around you like that,
Yeah.
and it just makes life so much easier.
100%. And I believe it's like healthy competition as well. Like him saying that is like a bit of
Yeah,
banter, but there's probably some form
it
of,
is.
yeah, a bit of drive. They'd be like, all right, well, we're on now. Catch me if you
Yeah, yeah,
can.
yeah,
With a few things in particular at the start, was getting clarity, Dave, on what you wanted, and then from that, then was how we were going
yeah,
to do that. So we always did, start from the end and work back to where you wanted to go, what we need to achieve in the first month.
yeah,
On top of that, then we were always key on getting those, habits in place. A massive on habits, as you know.
yeah,
For
yeah,
yourself, like, it was nothing major. It was more getting some form of exercising, drinking water,
yeah.
getting you into meditation and breathing techniques. And probably when you started this, you probably laugh at the fact of trying to get into meditation. But how beneficial was it for you to have that in the morning routine?
Massive. I think it were always difficult, because obviously it's just like, getting into something new, and then it becoming a habit.
Mm.
But I especially found with trying to deal with thoughts in my head, and the self sabotage, and that kind of thing. I think it helps me with that, and it helps me not being overwhelmed.
Mm.
I find myself now not being overwhelmed.
Mm.
I'm calm, and I never was like that. I was very reactive and frustrated, and then you get anger, and I just find myself now I'm not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And you can still feel it sometimes. You think, oh God, but I think, no, come on, we're where we are. And it's like people around you can say negative things or whatever, and it's just like, no, come on, we're gonna do this. There's a mountain to climb. There's always a mountain to climb. You never get to the top, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just, as long as you've got people around you that share the same, journey and core values, then it just makes it a lot easier. Because I think, especially with I used to feel quite overwhelmed quite a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even get that at all now. I just think yeah, come on, let's do it. And it doesn't scare me. I just think, if anything, I just want more.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know what I mean? I want more, and financially and stability and everything. I just want more. I don't mean greedy. I just mean
Yeah,
we've come so far in the last 6 months, and you've got to think, God, where we are. But now it's sort of catapulting us to where we could only dream that we could be. You
massively.
know, so yeah.
So obviously on your journey though, Dave, like from the start to where you are now, was it a penny drop moment where you go, shit, those things that I started to want to achieve at the start, like you've manifested them and you've actually done them at the same time? Was there a moment for you where you're like, I'm on this path, I'm on the right path now, keep going, this is the right place?
Yeah, I think I'd say first couple of months were the most difficult,
Hmm.
and then I'd say sort of January, February time, I felt like everything were kicking in and the habits. And like now, I never used to wake up before 7, half 7.
Hmm.
Now I wake up at 6 every morning.
Yeah, well,
I just wait. I don't even need to put my alarm on. It's
wow.
like now I'm up. I wake up at 6. And my missus were like, she's still now. She's like, and she's always been. She's always one of them. She doesn't sleep great, so she's always up early anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
She's always first up, and now she even she says, she's like, I can't believe the difference in you in 6 months getting up,
yeah, yeah,
because that has just become like a second nature. Um, so I think that's the biggest shift. I think is the morning routine
yeah,
out of everything, because that just sets you up for the day.
yeah,
Once and I've had 5 minutes doing my meditation, it just sets you up for the day. It gives you clarity. You can make your list. You can do your tasks. You can then look at the day in in a lot smaller tasks, rather than it being one big thing and feeling overwhelming. I just think I'm not too hard on myself as well, because I know what we need to do, and it's otherwise your list never gets smaller. But I think as long as you just break it down every day,
yeah,
that's the biggest thing that I've come away with this is the morning routine and the clarity
yeah.
and the meditation. That's the biggest thing that I've come away with,
Amazing.
because that just sets you up every day.
Yeah. How do you find
It
that then?
sets you up
Obviously,
every
like
day.
you're dealing with a lot of more money now, as well as in not just on yourself, but in the team, product, materials, properties. Like I'm a big believer in that is overwhelming as own when you're dealing with not just a couple thousand, where you're talking with a couple 100,000. These things do shit. That's just come through the account right now. Shit, we've got X amount of materials to deal with.
Yeah,
And I think that's a key
yeah,
component there is actually making sure you have time for yourself. So then you do pivot
yeah,
to these areas in that calming essence instead of like frantic. You know what I mean? So it's big. That is.
yeah. I think it helps you be more prepared and planning, planning everything about what you're doing that day.
Yeah.
And the money side of it, I don't know if you'll relate to this, but the numbers get bigger,
Yeah.
the responsibility is bigger. We've got responsibility towards clients and making sure that we deliver. But at the same time, it's just the same as we've always ever done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just on a bigger scale. So as long as you break it down like that, you're not going to feel overwhelmed. And the sourcing side of it for us now is that is such a big part of my week.
Yeah.
I have at least a couple of days, um, just viewing houses a week and sourcing and doing, trying to pull deals together. And we've sold like six deals in the last 2 weeks.
Wow. 6 deals in the last 2 weeks. That's
All yeah,
wow.
and we've upped his price.
Yeah.
So we're charging 5 grand a deal now, to
Wow. So five.
just because,
So
yeah,
60, what's
just
that? Sorry,
because
30K in the last 2 weeks then.
30K in the last, yeah, 30K, yeah,
Amazing.
and and they're like, them numbers are just like mind-boggling, because I haven't got 30 grand in right now. There's elements and there's
Yeah, of course.
deposits, but that'll all drop in the next 3 weeks. But there's a lot of, it's been like 6 months in the making this
Yeah. Yeah.
to get to a point where we're efficient. We've built relationships with estate agents, and we've got people around us that, because the hardest thing is finding something and then being able to package it and get someone. We need them aligned, and that's the biggest thing I've struggled with. You know, so that'll be, when these go through, that'll be eight deals we'll have done in the last, since we started. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that 40K there, and on top of that, then you doing the projects as well, so you're getting, the team are getting paid for the refurbishment on it as well. This is the big thing, though. This that this is where you wanted to be 6 months ago or 5 months ago, and you probably, you've achieved it. Probably scared yourself a bit.
It's giving me goosebumps because we've just gone limited.
Yeah.
We've just we'll be going VAT registered within a month because of the turnover we're doing. We've got big numbers dropping in. We've got lots of projects lined up. We've got these next 6 properties will be in conveyancing within the next week. So then I'm thinking 2 months time, I'm gonna have six projects to do and deliver. They're all different. Some are big ones, some are little ones. So that but it's a big responsibility. But at the same time, it doesn't feel the weight of it. I don't feel weighted by it. I feel quite confident we can do it. We can deliver it. Nice. And I think, again, that's just having that warrior mindset, because, I reckon we'll easily do £1 million this year, easily.
Amazing.
In turnover.
Amazing, mate.
That's and then when you look at your margins, it is, we'll easily, just forecasting what I think we forecasted sort of for next 3 months. So we're in £300,000 to £400,000 turnover. Now, I know obviously turnover is just a number, but when you look at his margins in regards to that and in what we're doing, they are good numbers, which is then leading on to we're going to hopefully get involved with doing his own property deals. So I'm hoping, well, we will be. We're just talking to someone now about that. So just trying to line everything up now so I can probably buy my first property in next 2 months.
Amazing.
My first HMO. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Honestly, it's crazy. And I can't emphasize the difference working with you has impacted, not the difference. I can't emphasize the impact working with you's had on where I were to where I am now, because I know full well that it's quite. I'm not saying never. I think there was only if I want to go down this path now, where would I be? And I don't mean necessarily it's all about money, because it's not, but emotionally as well, and the family and everything else. But we are where we are, and doors have been opened, and lessons have been learned, and we just every day we keep learning and doing. But most importantly, we have his head up, and we have integrity and honesty and ownership.
Yeah,
a good and bad.
Mate,
it's
a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you, and a pleasure to meet to see where you are now. And from my end, you did all the work. I was just there, man, being the cheerleader behind your back, telling you how good you're doing, but generally meaning it, and then helping you with the tools to keep going. But you did the work, man. You turned up when the mind was telling you not to. It's a credit to you. I'm a bit speechless, to be honest, because it's been an amazing journey to see you, Dave, on this, and we built a hell of a bond on it as well. So it's happy, sad, but I'm absolutely happy with you anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm the same, and I sort of miss talking to you.
Yeah.
And I've missed the interaction with you as well. But at the same time, it's a bit like you're on your own now. You need to go and do it as well. And I think I needed that. And I can't tell you how different things are. We as a family, my wife understands and supports me in what I need to do, and she gets it. She understands it's a new business and we're doing what we need to do, but at the same time, we're making time for each other. We're going away. We've got a few breaks booked already. We're spending more time together on a weekend
than ever.
Still, I think there's always an undermined thing in my head that's I think sometimes you feel you just got to keep pushing on. and moving forward. When in reality, you just need to take a little bit of a step back and think, where are we now? And look at that and understand that.
Definitely, mate, and that's that, having that awareness in yourself to be like, okay, do we pivot now, or do we shift forward, do we go backwards, or do we just have 5 seconds or 5 minutes here? And the thing we haven't mentioned on top of this is, having a young fella on this journey with you. One thing for you was big was leaving that legacy for him and actually educating him on, well, what we can do as a family, because family is massive to you.
Yeah.
And on top of that, then is having Sam experience this and actually hopefully one day pass the torch on to him to keep this name going.
Yeah, that has brought an all new set of challenges as well.
I bet
because we were here doing what we're doing, and now we're I won't say we're higher up or any better, but I just mean we're at this level now, and the intensity is a lot greater, the responsibility is greater. So he struggled a little bit with that just because of change.
Of course.
We've changed what we're doing, and but he understands where we are and where we need to be. And he's still only young, he's only 18, but having conversations with him about where we want to be and the numbers and generational wealth, and and even though I don't say a great deal to him about that, it's just more of is having some awareness. The why is why are we doing this? Why do we need to do this? Or but he understands that.
Yeah.
That I've just said to him, look, when you get to my age and you've done what I've done, you'll understand why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You'll not understand now. I don't expect you to, but for us is we've got a plan. Whilst I'm in London next week, I'm meeting with the guy who's put me onto this fund, who's a financial advisor, and we're going to talk about doing some other things as well to sort of like utilize the money within the business. And so there's lots of stuff going on, and it's an exciting period for us. And there's so much, particularly throat, but there's so much more as well.
Yeah.
That
it's just that new
I
level
talked about with you. That it's opened. Doing what we're doing now. I mean, these funds are hundreds of millions of pounds a year that they're spending, and the circles that they're mixing in and everything else. And it's brought a different dynamic to be invited down there. And
you've earned it, mate. You've worked your ass off, and that's a credit to you. And for me, man, the key when out of all of this is having that self-belief which you've started from where you were at the start, like feeling overwhelmed, pissed off work, wanting to change X, Y, and Z, and that leaked into other areas of your life, where you were never feeling doing enough. And now where you are now is full of energy, excitement about work, clarity. What else can we smash out? What is our mission statement now? I bet that mission statement's changed from what it was at the start to where it is now, right now. And that's a credit to you, mate. So, like, for me, I'm buzzing for you, brother. I just want to say, as we always do when we wrap it up, is just, what are you grateful for?
Family, time, meeting you, working with you. It's changed my life, mate. That's the best way of putting it. So I'm extremely grateful for our journey and what we've done. And for me now, it's where it can go. But yeah, extremely grateful for all them things, Paul.
Amazing, mate. Legend, buddy. Pleasure as always.